Hope everyone's doing well. My name is EQ, and welcome to another episode. I'm going to be going over GRT the monster, go over what GRT is, how it's been influenced, who they're working with, price predictions, impulse predictions, tech analysis work, and a long-term prediction for GRT. Before we get started in this video, I wanted to reach out and say thank you to everyone that is in our Discord group. We got over 200 members, and to limit the amount of scammers and spammers and everyone that's coming in there, the group is private and paid only now. So thank you all for your support. We also opened up our VIP group running at $5 a month right now. There were 50 spots. There are only 17 spots left. So drop and jump on a spot before those close up. I'm going to drop the link in the bottom so you guys can join that. And I want to give a quick special shout out and thank you to all the original OG members that are already in the group so far. Appreciate you guys so much. Without you, this wouldn't be possible. We got Edwani, Adbiodune, aka Jerry, A Mythical Canine, Carlos Martinez, Dex is God, DJ Enduris, Flocadopoulos, Giddy Up, Nico Jones, Jay Dibbles, Judas, KQ, Lady River, Lil DB King, Lolo 20, Lord Smith, Mars Bar, Mr. Stoink, Ollie Shaw, Papa Zach, Raw Cakes, Sam I Am, Seb Dragon, Slat, Solmar, Tom 97 LFC, Trap Senpai, West Coast 5420, Yap, and Yo Magnos. Much love to all of you guys, and thanks for all the support. Before we get into the video, let's take a quick jump into the Discord channel and see what's going on in there, and then we're going to jump into this GRT video. So we're going to do a quick little walkthrough of the Discord channel so you guys get a little better idea of what's going on in here. Here we have the public general chat. This is kind of where everyone talks. You can see we got everyone that's available in this group here. Some of the basics, going over Elliott waves, different charts, breaking down this and that. Going collections of the YouTube. So everything on this general, the crypto world, which has its own crypto chat. All the CoinDesk updates. It's broken down by section, so when CoinGecko does its thing, it'll post. We have Cointelegraph. All the news exchanges broken up, and these are just crypto exchanges themselves. So we're getting all of the most up-to-date information and taking out the fluff. Anyone that's on Twitter, I know it's a great source, but there's just so much things and information flying around that it's hard to actually get through and find all the really detailed information. So this helps that a lot. You have all the general news. This is kind of what it was looking like before. I started breaking it down into smaller channels so it wasn't so clustered. Have our whale alerts. Anyone that's in here, like, I like to look at this, but I don't like to be bothered by it all the time, so I use this little bell up top. This makes it so that unless I mention, I'm not going to be getting notifications about it, but I can check it at my own pace and see what's going on in terms of the whales, for example. Going down to the Stonk Talk, we have the Forex area, any lifestyle stuff. These groups are going to be changing, and these channels are going to constantly be changing and growing all the time. And getting to the tasty stuff, when you're in the VIP group, you get access to the special area. This kind of breaks down everything else in terms of the NFTs, the DeFis. You can see I just started these channels to break it up. It was on the Twitter updates originally. So we picked out all of the top coins, and this is essentially a huge feed of everything that they're posting directly from the source. It's the best way to get the information without having to wait for anyone to get it for you, and it's all cleaned up, which is great. Then we have our OGs chat, which is the first 50 people that sign up for our $5 a month group. This is our personal chat with all the OGs. That is a private chat between all of us. And the juicy stuff is the VIP charts, and this is essentially where we're breaking down coins, daily breakdowns, weekly breakdowns, what's hot, what's not, what could be retracing, what is looking like it is in a consolidation, so on and so forth. There's a ton of information that gets posted on here. This is probably the most valuable part of the VIP area, and we're able to talk about a lot of these things on here and get tons of information to each other. As you can see, this is also a private group. So with the OGs, we have 18 spots, 17 spots now. So jump on it while you can. These spots are filling up quick. Right now it's only $5 a month. Once these spots fill up, this group is going to be closed out and a new group is going to be created. They're still going to have access in certain areas to talk to each other, but for all sakes and purposes, the groups will be separated into 50s to keep the cluster down. So you have a little group of people that you've been around the whole time, which is great. So make sure to take advantage of that. Let's jump into GRT. If you guys want any specific videos or anything like that, make sure to join the VIP Discord group. That's where you're going to be able to talk to me the most, and anything you want to throw my way, I'll be more than happy to look at it and potentially throw some videos out there for it. GRT right now just sitting out of the top 50 at 53. You see we got a market cap of 2.5 billion, still pretty low. We have a circulating supply of 1.2 billion and a max supply of 10 billion coins, so it is a finite token. And you can see from this little chart right here, we did have a nice boom coming up. This is around the $1 range, and under $1, taking a nice little lift up to the 2.5 and sitting around here. We're going to come back to this later in the video when we do our price predictions. So the Graph is an indexing protocol for querying data for networks like Ethereum and IPFS, which is powering many applications in both DeFi and the broader Web3 ecosystem. Anyone can build and publish open APIs called subgraphs that applications can query using GraphQL to retrieve blockchain data. There's a hosted service in the production that makes it easier for developers to get started on building the Graph and the decentralized network that'll be launching later this year. The Graph currently supports indexing data from Ethereum, IPFS, and POA, with more networks coming soon. To date, there's already over 10,000 subgraphs that have been deployed by thousands of developers for dApps like Uniswap, Synthetics, Aragon, AAVE, Gnosis, Balancer, LivePeer, DAOstack, Decentraland, and a bunch of others. The Graph's usage has been growing at over 50% MOM and hit over 7 billion queries during the month of September 2020. There's a global community including over 200 indexer nodes in the testnet and more than 2,000 curators in the curator program as of October 2020. To fund network development, the Graph raised funds from community members, strategic VCs, and influential individuals in the blockchain community, including Coinbase Ventures, DCG, Framework, Parify Capital, CoinFund, DTC, Multicoin, Reciprocal Ventures, SPC, Tally Capital, and others. The Graph Foundation also successfully completed a public GRT sale with participation from 99 countries, not including the US, and to date, as of November 2020, the raids. So the Graph team includes professionals from the Ethereum Foundation, Open Zeppelin, Decentraland, Orchid, MuleSoft, and other leading IPOs and acquisitions by Salesforce, Puppet, Red Hat, and Barclays. The initial co-founding team includes Jan Tal, the project lead, Brandon Ramirez, and Giannis Pullman. The founders have engineering backgrounds and have worked together for almost 8 years. Tal and Ramirez studied electrical engineering at USC and worked together at MuleSoft, an API developer tools company that underwent an IPO and was sold to Salesforce. So what makes Graph unique is that Graph is working to bring reliable, decentralized public infrastructure to the mainstream market to ensure economic security of the Graph network and the integrity of data being queried. Participants use the Graph token, which is GRT, It's a work token that is locked up by indexers, curators, and delegators in order to provide indexing and curating services to the network. GRT is an ERC20 network on the Ethereum blockchain, and it's used to allocate resources within the network. Active indexers, curators, and delegators can earn income from the network proportional to the amount of work they perform from their GRT stake. Indexers earn indexing rewards, new assurance, and query fees, while curators earn a portion of query fees for the subgraphs they signal on. Delegators also earn a portion of income earned by the indexer they delegate to. The graph network stays secure because it's built on an open data layer on top of the blockchains. Indexers can run their own Ethereum archive nodes to run graph nodes, or they can use node operators like Infura or Alchemy. Any analytics company can build an application to query subgraph data that's indexed by the graph. Subgraphs are also open to APIs and are able to pull data from the blockchain in the most seamless and efficient ways. And we're going to dig deeper into some of the other companies that they are working with, but a major one that made an announcement a couple days ago is Avalanche. AVAX is integrating with the graph. AVAX is a decentralized smart contracts platform, and it's integrated with the graph to expand querying and indexing on its own platform. According to a press release shared by the CoinRivet, developers building on Avalanche can easily query custom on-chain data requests without having to run full node via subgraphs, which are indexes of specifically defined blockchain data. What makes this really big for me personally is that anyone that's following Avalanche and AVAX, you know that all the devs and dev teams love to work on AVAX. So the fact that they're working with the graph to make it even easier means that the graph is going to be getting tons and tons of subgraphs just from AVAX alone. So you can see APIs for a vibrant decentralized future. The graph is an indexing protocol. We're going to dive into this in a little bit, but you can see here it kind of shows things that you can do and queries that you can add, so you can find what are the newest DeFi projects and things will come up. So it can be composed into a global graph of all the world's public information. This data can be organized, transformed, and shared across applications for anyone to query with just a few keystrokes, which is huge. If you go into some of these other ones, being able to see what you can do just off of basic code is amazing. Before the graph, teams had to develop and operate proprietary indexing servers. This required significant engineering and hardware resources and broke the important security properties required for decentralization. So this is essentially how the graph is going to be using indexing an API and using the blockchain information and sharing of public data and encrypted data to make sure everything stays secure from the blockchain and through contracts and everything to be able to accept the real world data. Web3 is a new stack for a radically better internet. All data is stored and processed on open networks with verifiable integrity. The graph makes querying this data fast, reliable, and secure. So they already have multiple levels. You have your DeFi, governance, grants, philanthropy, social, entertainment, and marketplaces. The marketplaces would be like Decentraland and things like that, but you already have an indexing category system through GRT, which is great. So you can see here, by combining Web3 protocols, developers can build dApps with powerful new features for solving the world's greatest challenges. There's a ton of things GRT is doing. It's not going anywhere. You have your mainnet is now live. Here's the token address to make sure that you're not hitting any scammers. It's always great to find this information directly on their websites or from CoinMarketcap. And because there's so many smart scammers out there, they're going to try to take your money and getting into some things. It's wild. Even in our Discord group, I hear at least once a week of someone trying to get scammed by someone or getting some weird email from someone or a DM from someone, and yeah, they're getting pretty good with it. So if you wanted to learn more about the indexers, the curators, or the delegators, you can learn a little more through these links. Some of the live products, so you see Uniswap, which is a massive project, uses GRT. You have Synthetics, also a massive project, Decentraland, Argon. Future Swap is on this list. There's a ton of companies. Opium's on here. Now you're backed by all of these companies as well. All the venture and capital funds. Ton of people putting money into GRT. So where we're going, the crypto economy is a radical new imaging of the future of work. Open protocols will create transparency and opportunity, enabling anyone in the world to contribute their talents to a global economy. We want to support this vision and help developers build the new coordination mechanisms of the internet age. Really, really big stuff. GRT is a monster. I remember looking at this in January because it's a pretty new coin. It was made in 2020, something like that. But it's a newer coin. It wasn't around during the previous bull run, so we got some new stuff to work and build on. Now these subgraphs, you can see all some of these DApps that are on here already. Live here, we've talked about a little bit in the Discord. Compound is huge. You have Decentraland, Enzyme, USDC, MakerDAO, Synthetics, Bancor. The list goes on and on when you're going through here. Balancer. And this list is only going to get fatter. Protocol AVE, which is huge. Ton of DeFi projects on here. And you can kind of go through and see exactly what they've been doing, how many entities, where you can get this information. And here's their live query system and some logs and stuff that you can mess around with if you want to get deeper through GRT. Overall, it is a great platform. Let's get to the saucy stuff that everyone wants to be here for, the chat work. So first off, what I see, let's go from the very beginning, like some classy peoples. Boom, major resistance. Flip this back to my orange. Now you got a bottom here. We're gonna call this support. Now when you do this and you come over here, you can make a nice little rectangle out of this. Bada bing. We're gonna change this dookie green to the blue. Bada boom. Now you can see we're sitting in a channel. Let's make this a little more opaque. Boom. So when you're waiting for a massive move, we want to see this break. Realistically, if I wanted to, I could put it a little lower to here, because you can see that this is all wicks. There was no actual body close, so we'll drop this a little bit lower, and that line that we put on the top is going to be our support out of channel 2. Boom boom town. So we're gonna ride this out to boom boom town. When we get a support, we're still in channel on GRT, which is a great sign. We did have this massive pool. This is a good reason why I tell people not to be running margins and stuff like that. I mean, I'm gonna be doing some videos on margins, safer margins when you're running, you know, 40%, or if you're on Binance, I want to say it's the 60% is the safer side of it. But running on the lower end of 50% in order to accumulate and hope and prepare for moments like this, when price randomly drops from 1.7 all the way down to 84. So you had, you know, a massive decline in price, and I'm sure a ton of people got liquidated out of their futures and stuff like that, which could have been avoided. But going back to this, we've had some support holds on the RSI. The volume is starting to pick up a little bit more on GRT, which is good. And the STO RSI on the 4-hour chart has plenty of room for growth. Really want to see this try to make a nice impulse move onto the top around 2.7 and then come back down to around the 2.4 area to find support before making another move, hopefully out of the channel, to test this resistance. If we can get a break over this resistance to find support, honestly anywhere from 2.8 to 2.7 range, if we can find support anywhere here, that's going to be a great move, because that will start the actual true impulse move for GRT. We'll clear these out real quick. Move shrines, because we'll look at it from the other side of the perspective so we can see where price should go on this impulse move. Make sure you have that fib chosen. Start from the bottom of the move. If you're going on a bullish trend, you want to start from the bottom, drag your fib up to the top, tippity top. I'll drag this across so we get a better view in terms of the total move. Boom. And you can see from here, you did have a massive impulse move, and price made a retrace down to the 7860 fib, which was also the 200-day EMA, which is a little aggressive, but that's normal on a massive impulse move like this for GRT. You can see in its history, it hasn't really, it might have made a move similar to this earlier. No, it dropped right back down. So this is the first real massive impulse move of its history. We have a nice little consolidation in the channel still, which is bouncing off of the perfect areas. You have a stack here. Well, the impulse was triggered by these EMA crossovers, especially the green one crossing. Now we're going back into the bullish area. You had this to test to make sure that the market will hold, which it did. Passed way under the trend line and came right back up. So all in all, based on here, you're getting a nice golden number support hold, moving up to the 50 support holds, and next you want to see a nice push, hopefully to the 0. If not, we'll hold support on the 38 before we keep working up. This can be a long-term game, so keep that in mind. But if price was to move on an impulse similar to what it did there, we are looking at price going anywhere from 3.4, and on the long ends, we'll make this start here. You put this line here, make sure it's stacked. Control V, take that line, put it at your 100 starting. This is going to be essentially your 3-to-1 take profit region. We'll put it as array, and I usually make it a little square. So this, I'll square this out. Around here will be take profit 3 based on the actual impulse move and the full impulse move from the previous move. So you have take profit 1, take profit 2, and take profit 3 can take us almost to $5, not quite though. Take profit 3 is for, this is more for short-term trading, by the way. If you haven't been focused or following our group or been in the Discord or anything like that, this is the short terms. This is essentially trying to tell us where price can go to before we have another retracement, another healthy retracement, so price can continue to move up. Because if we don't have these retracements, we're not going to have enough power to go up, and we're going to hit a massive downtrend, which none of us want. So short term on this next impulse, price can take us almost to $5. So we're going to clear all these out. We're going to look onto the deeper charts. So you can see here we did have a nice little test of resistance on the still RSI, and you're having the resistance on the actual RSI that needs to be broken. Not the most space. We are in the overbought area right now, so we can see this potentially drop a little bit so that it has more space. But even going to the weekly, it's such a new chart that it won't show, but this massive lower wick, this lower wick, these are all great signs because there's not that many upper wicks in this area. So I am in the good faith that this is going to start trending upwards, and when it breaks essentially right here, this is where the massive impulse moves are going to start. So I think it'll be reasonable to say that, let's say the graph if the graph wanted to get to a $10 billion market cap, that's a ×4 move. That will put the graph at $8, give or take, and that's a pretty realistic call considering where it's moving towards. You guys got to keep in mind, I did have this conversation with someone in the group. You want to make sure when you're looking at market caps, everything like that is relative information. So it really only matters for the time being. Once things push up, like for example Ethereum and Bitcoin, that moves the total market and total potential cap for everyone else up. So right now, a $3 billion market cap to get in the top 50 sounds like a lot, but in a year or two to get in the top 50, you might need an $8 billion or $10 billion market cap. And that's going to wrap up this video on GRT. Hope you guys have an amazing day, morning, night, whenever you watch this video. guys so much for watching this video. If you haven't had a chance to subscribe or like the page or do anything like that, please do so. That'd be greatly appreciated. I'm going to be leaving some links in the bio so you can join our Discord, check out our Twitter, all that fun stuff.